Well, hello, friends. Hope everyone is doing well and has had a good week so far, heading into Friday. Everybody loves Friday, right? Weekend's coming up. Friday, yay. We're gonna hit the ground running tonight. We've got a lot to do. I still need buckets of Aspect's Crest for my warrior. I mean, need is a strong word, but I can't help but min-max a little bit now that I have a character chosen. Hey everyone, we're starting out with some guild keys tonight. Hey, how's it going, Buktosh? We out here? We sure are. Yeah, I was doing the math, and I think before the expansion drops, I think I need like 32 more dungeons, more timed dungeons worth of Aspect's Crest to get everything fully upgraded. So I don't know if we're gonna get all the way there, and that's assuming they continue letting us upgrade stuff in the pre-patch. I think they will. It would be really weird if they didn't, but you never know. But we're gonna try and get as much of this stuff upgraded as we can. They're resuming bullions next week. Yeah, so if they give us bullions without letting us upgrade, that would be extremely weird. So that does take the pressure off a little bit, but I mean, we're getting there. We're getting there. We've only got a 1 slot below 515 right now, and that's just because I have a flavor pocket on my necklace. I do have a 515 hero track necklace. So we're getting there. I got my rings fully upgraded. I got my weapons fully upgraded, including my my prot weapon and my shield. So we are getting there, making progress. Thanks everyone who's stopping by and hanging out. Yeah, we're doing some guild keys tonight. We got some of the crew online. I'm gonna be playing Fury because our GM wants to tank some keys on his paladin. Blood doesn't actually feel bad, and still doing crazy heals for my little bit of watching people try tanks today to avoid the gloomage from tank mains. I watch healers to see how much attention they had to pay to the tanks. That's a good way to look at it. I was watching Equinox play a little bit over the last couple of days, and he said blood DK feels pretty much the same. So, I mean, I don't know, on paper the changes sound really bad, but if they're if they feel good in game, then I mean, the principle of like the healer having to heal the tank a little bit, I'm okay with. Hey, how's it going, Karadius? I'm doing pretty well. How are you doing tonight? Yeah, the principle of like the healer having to pay some attention to the tank, I'm totally fine with. It's the implementation, at least on paper so far, has me a little hesitant, but we'll see how that works out. Alright, I'm gonna hop on our guild Discord here, so if I have moments of responding to someone that you guys can't hear, that'll be why. Doing good, been smashing keys for one day. Nice, glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. Smash it, yeah. Gonna do some chopping to start with these axes. It was suggested that I change up my Transmog as a little bit of a celebration for picking the warrior, but I don't know. I really like this Transmog. Automatic, thank you for the subscribe on YouTube. Do I have a preference being watched on YouTube or Twitch? Either is fine with me. Whichever you prefer as a viewer, I am happy to have you watch on that platform. I do my best to monitor both chats, so yeah, whichever one you prefer is totally fine by me. Let's see, I need to quickly. I need to turn down the volume on those YouTube alerts a little bit more. That is still very, very loud. Let's see. Turn the volume down even a little bit more. There, that should work. I have to do. Just want to make sure I'm not deafening myself or others when there's YouTube alerts. Hopefully that should be a little bit quieter. But yeah, whichever platform you prefer. I like watching stuff on... I mean, it depends on what I'm watching. I feel like YouTube has a generally better experience. But then the interaction on Twitch is generally better, I think. Like, Twitch has better... I mean, it's definitely closing the back, but like... Closing the gap. Closing the back. I don't know what that even means. I don't know where we're going anyway. Let me find out. Yeah, the YouTube like interaction experience is better than it used to be for sure. We're going to Azure Vault. Alright. Shadows, I throw next to catch you live. Hope you're doing fine. Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad you're able to catch me live too. I'm having a good day so far. Twitch makes me lag a bit less, so I'll stay there on purple side. Totally fine. Totally fine to make that decision. Oh, I gotta get every buff here. Hey, how's it going, Melnar? Hope you're doing well. Just get my food buff and then I'll be ready. There we go. Ah, there's already a feast down. I was talking to some people earlier. We are monetized on YouTube now, so really appreciate all the support we've been getting there. It's a big milestone, and we got there a lot faster than I thought we would. So really appreciate you guys and all the interaction we've had. Ooh, I got PI. It's because the YouTube content is really good. Well, thank you. It is definitely a bit validating to hit those milestones and just continue to see positive reactions. I think anyone who's like done any sort of creation, there's a little bit of self-doubt that always goes along with it, right? Whether it's justified or not. But seeing people respond positively and enjoy the content, it's very, very rewarding. equal, if not better quality of my videos than most bigger WoW YouTube guys. That is very high praise. Thank you very much. I just try to do my best. I think some of the biggest barriers for me are like coming up with, well, I don't want to say coming up with ideas that are like, that seem good enough to me that I can make an interesting video about them, and then just time. But I've been really enjoying making content lately, and I feel like I'm getting more efficient at editing and recording too, so hoping I can keep the content coming. To min-max or not to min-max? I think we'll see if we can min-max some legendary damage here. Oh, this is gonna be rough. I think I can get 4 over here. Yeah, if you can get the dot on a bunch of stuff and then angle the on use so that you're only hitting one mob, you can really min-max single target damage of it a little bit. Or a lot, I guess, in some cases. So sad they gutted tanks. We'll adapt, I guess. So my first expansion to main tank from the beginning. Having a blast so far on the Master Brewmaster is awesome right now, I think. And it actually got buffed. Like, I know there were some targeted nerfs, but the armor and stagger buff, like those... Uh-oh. 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 Oh. This is gonna be rough. Oh, don't stand in that. Yeah, Brewmaster actually got buffed with the changes, I think. Like, getting more armor and more stagger is actually huge. My wife agrees that my content is good, but she is a bit biased. That's fair. That's a fair bias. Kind of want to just kill this whelp, see if we can chain stun it. We'll just wait. Gotta wait for our tank and healer anyway. I do enjoy playing Fury from time to time. Tanking is definitely my my favorite role, but the old Fury Warrior is always satisfying to just do some chopping on. Or smashing, depending on what kind of weapon you're using. Saw the changes in all the other tanks. I know we're super dooming, then I saw brew changes and I laughed so hard I almost had tears rolling. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, brew is 100% the winner here. Although from what I've heard, and I mean, yeah, we were talking about it earlier too, it seems like Blood DK might actually be in better shape than you would think, based on the changes. We'll see how the final tuning looks. But yeah, like in principle, I think it's okay if like healers have to heal the tank a little bit. If that's the pathway that they're able to get away from like having a super bursty incoming damage meta, then I'm okay with it. It will never not be fun to just have like total control of your unsurvivability as a tank. But this is a multiplayer game after all. Doesn't matter. Oh, I got rooted. Oh, I might be dead here. Okay, we got to move just in time. Are in full damage build and smoke the average bug of the 12s. I mean, as Brew, you can probably get away with that. Mad skills will still able to catweave on bosses and trash on Necrotic Wake 8 with the Blood DK tank. Yeah, and I mean, keep in mind, these are doing 8s with, like, heroic dungeon level gear. I do always, like, when we're looking at healing streamers, like, these are usually really, really good players, though, so I would bear that in mind. Like, the average pug is not going to be on the same level as a guy like Mad Skills or Automatic Jack. But then, you know, I'm not on the level of some of the tanks who would be in that same stratosphere either, so. BDK was still self-healing for 1.7 million. I almost wonder, I don't know if we should say this on stream. Blizzard, you're not allowed to listen to this, okay? I almost wonder if there's going to be another set of nerfs coming in if that's the case. Equinox is definitely not a fair representation of the average Brewmaster pug. That guy is like, I mean, he's literally a title level player on Brewmaster. Probably one of the like 2 or 3 best people in the world at that spec. But I think when you look at like what people on that level are able to do, it does give you a taste of like what the specs are really capable of, right? I don't know how much value there is when like 99% of players aren't going to be able to achieve that level of play, but gives us something to try to grow toward, right? Tells me it's a me issue, not a Blood DK issue. Yeah, that's fair. On the hot take side, where I believe the skill gap we have right now is good for the game. There's an easier to bear in mind. I mean, I think having a skill gap is definitely good for the game, because if you don't have some level of skill expression, then it's like, yeah, like what are you trying to accomplish? What are you like playing to grow toward, you know? Now is my time to shine. Let me catch 1G a little bit on the meters. Uh-oh. Yeah, I like that there's like a lot of room for skill expression in WoW. It gives the game a lot of longevity. So I think you're right on that one. I'm gonna turn the music down a little bit. This is getting really loud. Alright, hopefully that's a little better.
Watch your step. Interrupt. Watch your step.
Just join. I'm not tanking. It's like, how do you lose threat that bad and can't get it back? Yeah, we've we're doing some Fury keys to start off with tonight. Trying to tank his Fury would be interesting. I know that was a thing in Classic, but watch the orb.
Phase change.
Get ready to kill ads. Alright, I gotta actually look at the screen for this fight so I don't get one shot by these orbs. Catch up on chat after this phase. Alright. I think talent trees should offer more and less skilled builds to make the newer players able to learn while remaining effective. The real problem is tuning builds is independent of execution of difficulty. Yeah, I think that's generally true. That was something that they had an easier time of with the old talent trees. Not like the super old talent trees, but like the previous talent trees up to Shadowlands. Like a lot of places there was two options where like one was a passive talent and the other was active, and they were within like 5 to 10% of each other. And I think that's a really good sweet spot, you know? It's like if you can handle having this extra button that's a little complicated to press in your rotation, then you're going to deal 5 to 10% more damage. But if you can't handle it, you've got a little bit of a floor here. It's a little more complicated with the talent trees they have now. I do, like, one example of where they do that really well is in the Monk class tree. The nodes that are like Dampen Harm and Diffuse Magic, you have a passive option that, well, at least in Dragonflight, is pretty decently good. Obviously, you can get more out of running the active ability. But if you are bad at using defensives, or if you aren't comfortable with the amount of keybinds that Brewmaster has, because it is a lot, like there is a passive option that will get you most of the way there most of the time. And things like that are really good. I don't know, some of the talent trees need a whole lot of love. And a lot of them are getting it in War Within. Give me back my keybinds. I don't want to lose more binds than ever. I enjoy my crack monkey experience. That might be your real hot take. I mean, I love Brewmaster. I played it as a main for a full season in Dragonflight. But my wrists will appreciate having a few less buttons to press all the time. Let's just step on these runes and see how people react. First in Rez Brew was Warlords Hellfire Citadel. Classes, yeah, it's a very different class. I mean, to be fair, almost every class got a pretty substantial overhaul going from Warlords into Legion. I think very, very few classes look the same in Legion as they did in Warlords. And Brew has kind of almost come roundabout. At least with like the... Was it the... like the Iron Fort Brew? I don't know, whatever it was called. The only item I'm not taking is Healing Elixir, and it's not because of keybinds, it's because it's bad. Still have room buffer, focus macro. I mean... like, I have more keybinds available on,
Find shelter.
I have more keybinds available on my Brewmaster. It's just like, some of them are things that like, I would put my ground mount on. Like, I have my mounts on Alt 1, 2, and 3. I don't know why, this is where I have them. But on Brewmaster, like, Alt 3 is... it's like a DPS, I don't remember which ability it is, but it's one of my DPS abilities. Feels kind of awkward.
Run out.
That was gonna be a rental leap. A 2% class. Are you big defensive was guard back then? Yeah, I mean guard is basically... it's basically Celestial Brew, right?
Run out.
I'm not on the beta, because guard was actually big and Celestial Brew is tiny on the beta.
Find shelter.
Oh boy. Oh boy. We got... okay, we made it. We're good here. Miss Pandaria Brew. Honestly, me too. Monk in Miss Pandaria was super fun. Fist weaving was super fun back then for Mistweaver. Brewmaster was awesome. One of the things I miss from Mop and Warlords is just being able to throw unlimited kegs around as like your ranged pulling thing. Even though they did no damage, they just did a ton of threat. And just like the idea of a monk running around chucking kegs everywhere was it was just so good. I loved it. 2% class, 98% of people failed at Brew real bad. Us 2% who didn't were unkillable. It was glorious. Yeah, like you could tell the difference back then. Kite forever with beer. Give me back Vengeance, multi-strike, Prot Pal. I didn't play much Prot Pal in Warlords. I like that they actually experimented with stats in Warlords. Like, multi-strike obviously didn't work out super well. And, I mean, they kept versatility in the game. Multi-strike was a cool concept, but I don't know. Ooh, let's not run through all these circles here.
Knocking back.
Maybe we should save that Odin's Fury for the next crystals. Nah, it'll be fine. Vengeance was an awesome mechanic, though. Being able to just, like, crush your DPS and damage on big raid fights. And then tell them to get good, that was always fun. You could abuse it with sit macros and stuff. Versus a bad stat for the game. Bring back Armor Pen and Vengeance. If they brought back Vengeance as a stat, that might be really interesting. Armor pin was cool. Having a stat that like was stronger the more points you got in it was kind of wild. And I think that would add a really interesting piece to the game. I don't think they'll ever bring it back, but... Oh! What got me there? It's the crackling vortex. I did not think I was in it, but... Okay. Yeah, I think Verse might actually be part of the problem with healing right now, right? Because you get into like a season where everyone can run like 30 to 40% Verse, and then just it's like you have a defensive rolling at all times. It's probably part of the problem. It's certainly not the most interesting stat. I mean, just like, you do more damage, you take less damage. Like crit, at least you get bigger numbers. A lot of specs have direct interaction with crit. Mine is still Oldemon. Classes that naturally stack Versers, 20% more tanky than others randomly, and it's super boring and doesn't interact with your kit. Yeah. That is the correct analysis of it. Yeah, if you drop Verse, introduce Armor Pen, you'd have to come up with another stat for casters, though, right? Because then they just have Haste, Crit, and Mastery. Maybe Multi-Strike for spells? Like Multi-Strike as a caster stat? Spell penetration, just make it up. All stats are made up. That's true. That's true. All stats are made up to some degree, especially mastery. Like, my problem with Armor Pin was it was always the right stat for physical dealers. As you said, the more you had, the better. You had to get to a certain point when it became the best, though, right? Like, if you have 10% Armor Pen, it's not great. It's when you get close to, like, 100% on whatever mob you're facing that it becomes out of this world insane. It does make it hard to balance, though. I mean, on the other hand, like, there's always going to be a best stat for each character. Yes and no. Armor Pin today would have been different values for bleeds, dot specs, and classes that do have magic damage, we have value. That's true. But you think something like... I mean, what are the pure physical damage? Because like, almost every class has some level of damage that would not directly interact with it, right? So maybe like BM Hunter, Arms Warrior, but Arms has bleeds. I think BM has bleeds. I don't know, I haven't played Hunter much at all this expansion. In a way, it would be kind of like the damage component of versatility. It would just scale very differently for different specs. And then obviously, like, the more you get of it, the better it becomes. As you get closer and closer to taking off those last points of armor. Hunter Warrior, Windwalker full value. I mean, Warrior has some bleeds, Hunter has some bleeds. Windwalker would get pretty much full value. Rogue Rat, Feral, DK would get half value. Yeah, you'd have to tune it accordingly. Because if it's only affecting half of your damage, then it's just not a good stat.
2, 1.
I just like to see them do something, because like the secondaries these days are range from like you need this to really feel good to this is boring. Oh, I am rooted.
Watch your step. Run.
As soon as Rage Storm ends, I'm gonna send my legendary here.
Interrupt.
I think Crit for Specs interact with is fun. Yeah, I mean that's kind of like
Run.
a little bit of an outlier, I think.
Watch your step.
Like crit on a Feral Druid feels fantastic. Haste is always fun. For most specs, haste is fun, but again, it's like a lot of the time it feels like you need it to make your class feel really good, right? Like playing a fire mage with 0 haste versus 40% haste.
Run.
Playing it with 40% haste feels good. Playing it with no haste feels awful. So is it that haste feels good, or that the class needs it to feel good? I guess that's what I'm trying to get at a little bit. I guess it's a matter of perspective. Oh. I should probably stop running Rage Hard as Fury, but I don't know, that big shield feels kind of nice sometimes. I do have a trampling hoof now, so I could run that instead.
Interrupt.
Alright, I got this cage.
Run. Run. Watch your step.
Maintenance buffs and CDR are the reason haste feels mandatory in a lot of specs. That's true. That is definitely true. Tuning uptime to be real procs per minute instead could fix some things, but it's not like I have 6 months as a designer to make it work perfectly. But I'm just tipsy and talking out of my butt. I mean, that's kind of what we're all here to do, right? Just yap at each other. I appreciate the ideas. It's always fun to talk about like how things could be, right?
Run.
The greatest yaps North America. Let's go. It is an interesting discussion though, because like the secondaries in WoW have been the same since Legion, which was 7 years ago, 8 years ago. It's been a long time. Like more than a third of WoW's lifespan.
Run.
You know the real hot take? What if they brought back hidden expertise? Just like you have like an 8% chance to miss your attacks. Another 8% chance for the enemy to dodge your attacks. If you're standing in front, you add on another like 10% to be parried. That was a thing for a long time. I am very glad they got rid of those, actually, though. Like, getting your stats capped was not the worst thing in the world, but playing early in an expansion when you didn't have your stats capped felt awful.
Run.
Like, can you imagine building up rage for Rampage and then you send it and it just misses? You don't get enraged, you lose all of your rage. You'd have to, like, spend talent points to not lose rage on misses or something. It could be worse. It could be a lot worse than it is now. I mean, leech avoidance speed is way more interesting than any stat. I don't know about hidden expertise, though. The idea of the mages getting resisted is appealing. That's true. Yeah, if they made tertiaries, and they kind of did this in MoP. They put tertiaries and secondaries on like the same stat proc on gear.
Interrupt.
So if they did that, it would be interesting for sure.
3, 2, 1.
I feel like the correct answer would always just be like ignore the tertiaries though. And then avoidance would give you a similar problem to what versatility has right now. If I had 10% leech on brew, it would be unkillable. Yeah, brew skills so hard with leech.
Interrupt.
It's the big red arrow. Yeah, I think brew. Yeah, brew is amazing with leech. Prot warrior is up there too. Alright, we got a Discord question. They have potential, but at least in my testing, they were very, very overtuned. Talking about the new dungeons in War Within. I really like the dungeons they brought back, actually, though. Grim Batol is like maybe my favorite. No, it's the Cataclysm one where you ride the dragons to kill some of the trash. But they made really, really good changes to it, I think. Let's see. Last year, Shadowlands giving us big heals on every keg was super fun. I loved that set bonus. I was a brewman that tier. It was so fun. Turning Keg Smash into Death Strike, basically. Wish they brought it back as a capstone. Yeah, that would have been sick. Maybe too powerful. Like, you would never talent out of that. But that's how a lot of capstones are right now, so.
Watch your step. Breath incoming. Watch your step.
Of course, never down to like 15% instead of 40%. It'll still have crazy value in M+, and not be crazy in raid. Ooh, we got a dad joke redemption. Here we go. All right, I'm gonna read this over Discord. It's gonna be one moment here. Hey guys, why was the coach yelling at a vending machine?
2, 1.
Because he wanted his quarterback. I got a couple of guffaws and a couple of moans.
Watch your step.
If you're new to the channel and this is your first dad joke experience, you're welcome. Or I'm not going to apologize for it, but my wife strongly objects to apologizing for it. These are the things that that we enjoy together. I find it funny getting old. Oh, no. You don't have to be old to enjoy a dad joke.
Watch your step.
It's just mature.
Attack taken.
Hey, Loyal Lucy, how's it going? Just doing some keys with my guild tonight. Gonna do some beta stuff later. I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Watch your step.
Doing alright. Bear seems passable on beta still. DK felt real bad. I've heard mixed things about DK. I've heard some tanks, like Equinox was saying, like he didn't even notice the difference and he was doing 12s, but he was also playing with really good healers, so that obviously makes a difference. Yeah, one of the things that I noticed about Bear is like a lot of the talents that they were nerfing are like talents that you weren't taking already.
Watch your step.
So it's like, it kind of made me think like the person who designed the changes for Bear doesn't really understand the spec. Equinox is saying that, but Jack killing him was saying different. That's, yeah, maybe that's something to pay attention to, right? Like if the tank says, hey, it feels fine, but he's playing with an elite healer who says, this does not feel fine.
Watch your step.
So one is a little more telling than the other. But I know the people doing like 12s on beta they're on another level. By the time most of us get to doing like 10s or higher, we're gonna have another 30 or 40 item levels over what the gear scaling is on the beta. So that will make a difference. I don't think it's gonna, like, it's very meaningful to have that much more gear, right? Doesn't mean things will be great once we get to that item level, but it is a factor that you have to consider. Funny you assuming when Smash Mouth against the wall week 1 with M0 gear. I mean, you can try. The thing is, like, you can do it on beta as much as you want, but once you try to do it in live, like, you have to earn it, right? Because if you can't time the key, then you don't get to go higher. Like the meme of the guy sweating at the keyboard versus the other guy singing payphone. Yeah, there's probably some of that going on right now. How it feels playing Bear versus Brew. That's so true.
Three, two, one.
Bears has so many buttons to press, something's always off CD. That's good.
Breath incoming. Run.
Almost had me there, yeah.
Breath incoming. Run.
To be fair, Bear pretty much always does have something off CD. It's just that something is like Swipe or Moonfire. Although I would say do not underestimate sending lots of extra Moonfires if you're playing Chosen of Elune. Getting that CDR on Lunar Beam is actually huge. Oh no, I'm stuck. Oh no, no, no. Jump, jump, jump. Come on. Come on, dragon, jump. There we go. Never feel like I don't have a button to press for some defensive or heal button. I mean, Moonfire does a ton of damage as Chosen of Elune too. Like I remember doing some dungeons where it was like almost 40% of my overall damage. It was wild for a 2-target dot.
Interrupt.
Bro, I was at 4 buttons that need press at the same time. Yeah, that is true. That is true. 2 warriors and a +9 is surprising. Generous key holder. So that's a former warrior main. Well, we're doing guild keys, so we're just kind of taking like whoever wants to come, right?
Interrupt.
So the tank right now is our GM's alt. Our priest is like our main healer, our healing officer. And then I'm just trying to farm every crest I can get my paws on for my warrior. And 1G, our other warrior in here, pretty much only plays warrior.
Spread.
This is a warrior only guild. Actually, if you look at our raid roster, you'd think we're a paladin only guild. We have like, oh, I did not think I was stepping into that. That was not good.
3, 2, 1.
Interrupt.
Yeah, so we have like a spreadsheet that we ask people to sign up for, like what class they want to play in War Within, right? I think a lot of guilds do that. And 3 of our first 4 people to sign up picked Rep Paladin.
Interrupt.
And then we have one of our healers who wants to play Holy Paladin too. So it's like, okay. We have a little more diversity on it now, but... Yeah, for a day it was like 4 paladins and a warrior signed up. How many monks and rogues do you have? We do not have a rogue. We have 1 monk. Depending on, like I might have to play Brewmaster in raid, at least during prog, so that we have the buff. Although the monk buff is one of the less important raid buffs, I think. But then if you have like that many paladins in melee, it's still kind of important. Yeah, one of our healers is signed up as monk right now.
Interrupt. Run.
We have another healer who usually plays with us who pretty much exclusively plays monk. So we should have that covered. I think we have one person that put rogue as their alt.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, I am currently signed up as warrior main. We'll see if we have a raid buff that needs to get filled.
Watch your step.
I'm gonna do whatever I can to play warrior as my main because it's just so much fun right now. unironically tempted to swap to mage because we haven't had one in 3 seasons. We won't have one in War Within. We could find a stream and just get the AI buff. Yeah, our GM usually plays a mage, and then we have, I think, 2 other mages lined up right now too. So we won't be hurting for those. But yeah, having AI is huge. Oh, we're doing big pulls here.
Range 5. Watch your step.
We got the Rot Hexer in here. Well, let's look at his count for sure. Yeah, not having a mage is pretty rare. It does happen. Not even sure if our Havoc is staying with us or not. We don't know if we'll have a Brand or AI or Arcane End at all at this point. That's a tough spot to be in. Missing both of those is very, very big.
Attack totem. Attack totem. Watch your step.
Yeah, at the end of the day, my guild is just like heroic, AOTC, and farm guild. So like if we're missing a raid buffer too, it's not that big of a deal. Maybe it'll cost us a couple of wipes during our heroic prog, but usually we're able to find answers elsewhere than asking someone to reroll, you know? But it is nice to have everything covered, especially because a lot of people like to parse. I think that's a big thing in heroic guilds.
Attack totem. Watch your step. Attack totem. Attack totem.
3, 2, 1.
Watch your step.
Alright, boss should be flopping pretty soon here. Alright. Got enough crests to do another upgrade here. What should we do next? I'm thinking I should just finish upgrading my augury next. That might be best because then I can also just upgrade these other 2 trinkets for free and spend some of my flight stones. I'm gonna reroll my keystone here. Oh, I rerolled the halls. I'm also the only monk we've had since BFA, so maybe I'll pass under the radar. Made the mistake of being both a multi-classer and multi-roller, and now I'm the pothole filler guy. Alright, our paladin's gonna head out, so I think I'll do some tanking here for the group. Thanks for tanking, Justin. This guy's name is Girth Brooks. Oh, that's funny. Alright. Back to prot. So I think I do augury all the way up to max, and then I'll do helm for the helm enchant bonus, because that does scale with item level. Yeah, that seems to be the right choice to me. Yeah, that'll also let me spend a few more flight stones because I'm capped right now. Get my trinket options maxed out here, even though I'm probably going to use at least one of those for leveling. I think augury might fall off quite a bit as crit falls off while we level. Let's see, I've got Halls of Infusion. What else do we have here? Ruby Life Pools. Where you guys want to go? Wherever. I swapped mine to Halls of Infusion. Sounds good to me. We're gonna do a Neltharis plus 8. See what we get in the queue here. Wait, hold on. I think that might be one of the 2 portals I have right now. No, it's not. I have Algethar Academy. I have Brackenhide. Why did I not port over? Okay, we can't do 3 warrior keys. We can't do triple warrior, not on Incorp. We can get us. We'll do Evoker. Get an Evoker in here. Take a dragon into the dragon area. You won't need it. Who needs a battle res? Famous last words. The old dragon slurping noodles. Let's see, I need a new file. Need to ruin this weapon. Alright, what do you guys think? Should we change up our transmog? Why was this the one I was on when I opened it? Let's see. What full sets do I even have? Oh, this is the sets. I do kind of like this one, but I don't know, it's pretty basic. Look at some old school sets. I actually have the elite version of this set, just without the cloak, so I don't have the elite one listed in here. This one's kind of cool. This is what I'm wearing, except for the helm, because the helm's kind of goofy. Cruel gladiator. I used this one specifically for a long time. don't have the shoulders on this one. I have like endless amounts of marks of honor though. I have 127 on my warrior and I have more on other characters. The old class hall set. I think this is from the Legion pre-patch. Long, long ago. I could finish off or just like straight up buy any of the PvP sets. Some of the warrior ones where there's like a blade on the helm are just kind of funny. Crazy Cuber changed details name. All right. What do you want it to be? I'm gonna have to reload. One G's baby boy. Did it not? All right. We will keep it as that until someone else tells us to change it. This ought to get a fun reaction from 1G when he notices, or when someone else notices and calls it out. Why is it not letting me? It's not letting me open the options panel. Can I do it from the other window? Details, options. It's not. It's not letting me send that. Why is it not letting me send that? Alright, I will have to update details real quick. I'm doing my best to honor this. The old pre-key add-on update. Usually you need to do this for like DBM or something. I'm really bad at updating my add-ons, so this is probably overdue anyway. Retail, interface, add-ons. Thankfully you don't have to like fully exit the game to do this anymore. I do have a solid state drive, so it should just take like 30 seconds for the files to copy over, at most. As soon as it finishes, we'll reload. Alright, that's done. Uh-oh. Okay, there we go. Wanted you to laugh at it. Just tell him Day says smooches instead. No, we're gonna get this done. We're gonna get this done. All right, now there we go. All right, nickname 1G's baby boy. All right, give it a ready check. Or we'll see chat. Over under 5 minutes before someone notices this and calls it out. Correct, is every week I have a new fisting joke as my details name. Friends are starting to be ashamed. Yeah, that's that's valid. Just got an ad. Oh, sorry about that. Ad break should be over in 30 seconds, so. There it is. there it is.
Shockwave. Shockwave. Watch your step.
Round everything up as best we can here. Ad break should be over. Welcome back day, and yeah, we were able to successfully implement the requested details name.
Shockwave.
I'll let you know what 1G says when he finds out about it,
Shockwave.
or Franken and Waz say when they find out about it.
Interrupt.
So far, no one has said anything.
Watch your step.
I got this one.
Shockwave.
What am I planning on playing the next XBAT? Well, I'm glad you asked. I put a video out about it, but I will go ahead and tell you, Warrior will be my main. Barring some unforeseen, like, insane changes. More insane than what they made on Wednesday this week. I'm pulling the inside stuff too here.
Shockwave.
We'll dodge that.
Shockwave.
Let's go ahead and AoE taunt everything here.
Watch your step. Interrupt.
Hey, but actually, what hero talent am I hyped for? Mountain Thane for sure is my favorite right now. But I do like Colossus. I do like the gameplay that Demolish has.
Watch
I like that you're rewarded for, like, playing correctly between your hits of Demolish. So far, no one said anything about the details name.
Watch where.
But yeah, I really like Colossus. I had a lot of fun with it when I was testing with it. But Mountain Thane is like... The visual feedback you get of all the lightning strikes, to me, is just like so fun. So cool. Such a DPS hog as a tank, I probably like Colossus. I mean, that's one of the things that makes Colossus super fun, is it does like so much damage. Also, the 5% size increase is awesome. Like having that as part of it is just super cool. It's a little bit of a meme, but I think stuff like that is awesome. I wish there was more of that in the hero talent trees.
Watch where.
I think the way 1G trains his eyes and his parses, he knows immediately. He's probably noticed, but he hasn't said anything.
Watch where.
He did say, "Oh, I beat the evoker on one of the polls back there." I know. I think there's a setting that makes you ignore nicknames, right? I don't know, maybe he has that enabled. Hard pass on the bigger hitbox. I'm about to swap to full period. I mean, the hitbox is kind of a wash, I think, right? Because, like, if your hitbox is, like, maybe yours is 5% bigger, but you're also 5%, like, closer to the boss's hitbox? I don't know. I guess for getting out of AoE, it could be a little bit annoying. I tend to be, well, when I'm paying attention, I tend to be a little, overcautious about getting out of stuff.
Shockwave.
gonna get the birds too.
Watch your step.
Just brought back memories of Torrens being able to hit through the pillars in arena because of their hitbox. Because the melee leeway. Yeah, those were some times.
Shockwave. Watch your step.
Pretty sure it's stagnant. I don't think the hitbox actually changes when you grow that 5%. If it does, 5% is really negligible. I mean, I just think it's cool. I call every Thane warrior fat because, well, that's on the Colossus tree. So I have to call every Colossus warrior fat.
Watch your step.
Same difference. Fair enough.
Shockwave. Watch your step. Charging. Moved. Shockwave.
I just want Blizzard to fix flurry strikes and shadow pans so I can have more numbers on the screen and lag even more. I mean, real talk, they do need to fix that. Either, like, they need to let you... They need to either, like, have the amount of energy that you need to spend, or let you stack them, like, infinitely.
Watch your step.
Because getting to 10 stacks and then seeing, like, oh, I still need to spend another 210 energy to actually spend these feels really, really bad.
Watch your
Yeah, exactly.
Watch your step. Watch your step. Spread.
At least with Colossus, like the damage bonus component, once you max it out, you start getting cooldown reduction on Demolish. But there's not like bonus energy spending or something on Shadowpan that you could really do in the same way. I hesitate to say they should make it another active ability because they worked really hard to get rid of some active abilities for Brew. I don't know if Windwalker needs another active ability to squeeze in there either.
Shockwave.
They should make it like icicles. Every stack over 10 should be launched immediately. Maybe anything over 10 needs double damage to make a stack or something. I really like that idea. Like, you just get a flurry strike immediately once you get over 10.
Charge.
That would make it feel way more impactful, I think.
Watch your step.
They might have to change the how you proc the buff at the capstone part of the hero talent tree there. I don't know, maybe not. Overlapping multiple buffs of like Will of the Wall or whatever it's called would be pretty sick. Having some Pogger ideas while you drink. I'll learn Blizzard real quick. Please do, because honestly some of these are good ideas. Just go make a... I don't know. I don't know what the best way to actually get feedback to Blizzard is. Just comment in the feedback threads. Just tweet directly at Ian Hazakostas. Maybe that's the. Maybe you should do that. Just tweet at Ian and tell him, hey, make this change to Shadowpan.
AOE incoming.
Probably gonna max the stream and yap. That's what the game is being catered to these days. You're not wrong.
Special coming. Watch your step. AOE incoming. Special coming.
Ooh, I was almost too far to charge there for a sec.
AOE incoming.
We'll start going this way now.
Special coming. Watch your step. AOE incoming.
I got the shield. Alright, now we gotta go to the mammoth. Do I have... I do not have my parasol bound. We can leap down though. Let's run across the fire. Watching where he plays me realize that y'all take like no damage from these. I can blast this beer every time. Yeah, that's one of the advantages of Warrior right now. We'll see how much that holds up in War Within. But at least in my testing, like, still feels pretty great.
Watch your step. Interrupt.
Yeah, block is a very powerful tool, and ignore pain on live is really good. Unfortunately, ignore pain on beta is very, very weak right now.
Watch your step.
I think the default value on live is about like, it's right around 600k, at least with my gear, and I have like 2.3 million health, so it's about a quarter of my health for one press of ignore pain. And on beta, it feels like it's about 10% of your health, maybe even a little bit less than that.
Watch your step.
So you feel that difference for sure. But block is still really, really good, and you have almost 100% uptime on shield block, so. Let's see, is there a duration on this shield? Do I need to send it before too long here?
Interrupt.
I'm just going to send it here.
Watch your step. Interrupt.
Two, one.
I was wondering about that. keep a fully stacked Celestial Brew is like half my HP. Yeah, Celestial Brew feels pretty bad on beta 2. You are for sure keeping your damage consolation. Brew does crazy damage still. I will be playing a lot of Brew. I had it at number 3. And I at least intend to be doing like enough to get a decent vault on it each week.
Shockwave. Charging.
Don't let me miss.
Shockwave.
Oh, don't worry, don't worry. My go-to details name when I'm playing Monk is Windwalker Texas Wind Ranger, even if I'm playing Brew. Or if I'm playing Brew, sometimes I'll go with the old Bruce Lee.
Shockwave.
Feels fitting. Come on, Mr. Mammoth. There's just so many. There's so many good options for a details name on Brew. Or on Monk in general.
Charging. Move. Shockwave.
That's a good one. Mine these days is the Fisting Man.
3, 2, 1.
I still don't have my parasol. Well, we can leap down.
Shockwave. Pushback incoming. Shockwave.
For any fellow Wheel of Time fans out there, I've also used Brew's Theron Telemon. Book fans, of course, book fans, not show fans, sadly.
Shockwave.
3, 2, 1.
Shockwave.
Oh, that might be dangerous.
Shockwave.
We're just a little bit overcount here, only 15. Or maybe one less. 14.
3, 2, 1.
Shockwave. Pushback incoming.
If there wasn't a max character limit on the normal details, I'd call myself, you're the reason I drank. There is a weak aura that gives you, I think it takes up to like 255 characters. I have that installed.
Shockwave.
Sometimes I put like a full sentence or like full paragraph in there just for fun. Oh, let's see, I gotta get,
2, 1.
why are the gold piles so far away?
Watch your step. Shockwave.
I was almost too early on that. Ah, range single target. We're living the good life with this one.
Three, two, one.
Watch your step. Shockwave.
Oh, almost dodged right into another AoE there. Or charged right into another. This whole key, no one said anything about the details name. That's really funny. That really... I don't have it yet, so sure. Get a new transmog option. Let's go. Like the drop down range AoE, I imagine them softball underhanding throwing a mini mana bomb. That is what it looks like. Alright, let's go get another upgrade on the old augury here. The thing is insane. Almost 10% of overall damage. Brings us up to 522 overall for Prot. A little bit higher for Fury because of the item level on the Legendary X. Alright, I think it's time to go do some beta stuff. Think we'll go do some blood decay stuff on the beta. See how bad it really feels. It's late at beta time. Yes. Alright, we'll plummet into the abyss for a moment here, chat. I should update titles here. Update titles so people know what we're doing. Oh, I need to... Give me one moment here. There we go. Oops. There we go. Alright, we're gonna do some blood DK stuff. Get started here. Tuning in for this. Singing not best in the world, but good tank play will be way more real about the changes. Hey, that's the value I'm here to provide. So I was messing around on dummies with Deathbringer. I think we'll probably roll with something like this. I did talent out of Red Thirst and Umbilicus and Ironheart because I wanted to talent into Consumption. I don't know if that's the best idea, but Consumption has pretty good synergy with Deathbringer because you get a lot of stuff that increases your Blood Plague damage and also makes it tick faster. And Consumption gives it another 30% tick rate increase. So, I want to give that a shot. Let's see, I made a key as a +4 Necrotic Wake. I don't know if these are still the right affixes. If we throw a +4 on it again, it should update to whatever today is supposed to be. Did it not hand me the... Maybe I jumped away too fast. There we go. Nope, keeping it there. Alright. So we will list this key. Necrotic Wake +4. I also haven't done much Necrotic Wake testing because it was bugged for the first couple of weeks. So we'll see how this goes. We'll see how much of a disaster this is. I'm gonna hop out of Discord. Let me say goodnight to the guys real quick. I'm gonna hop off Discord. See you guys. We're just gonna take whoever replies. It's only a +4. How bad could it be? Gonna be pleasantly surprised? I hope so, Bakhtash. I hope so. Do I think high tolerance is necessary in Brewmaster? I usually play with it. I don't know if I would say it's necessary. Let's see, what do we have? I'm gonna grab the Warlock because I feel like if this guy's playing Og, that's gonna kind of color how we actually feel about the key and the performance. Yeah, I don't know if I would say it's necessary. I mean, necessary for what, I guess? I mean, the haste that you get from it is pretty nice, but haste is also like... super unnecessary as a brewmaster in general, right? Because you have a locked-in... Looks like the mage that we invited is going to play Og anyway, so... Alright, well, we'll get a key with an Og, and then we'll see if we can do something without an Og. Trying to think, is there anything that I'm like missing? I have to say, I laughed when they nerfed Enfeeble. Like, nerfing this from 15 to 12% damage reduction when your ghoul attacks. Like, I don't know. Some of the changes, it's kind of like, wait, why are they targeting that? We'll see. I feel like not having Ironheart might make Blood Shield feel really bad, but... we'll see. Oh, I also need to... Guess I need to do this from the talent tree. Let's see. I'm gonna put Reaper's Mark here. Go all damage build. I mean, that's kind of what this is. Like, I don't know. I mean, going to Bloodshot is more damage, but I don't know what else to drop to get consumption and some other stuff. Wasn't that basically a permanent DR buff though? It's easy to change based on uptime. Well, for Unholy, yes it is. For Blood, you only have your ghoul up like 30 seconds every 2 minutes, right? I guess it's... actually that's pretty significant now. It lasts a minute on a 1.5 minute CD. But it's a single target thing too, so... It also, like, it feels kind of weird that that's something they're targeting when one of the things they wanted to do, supposedly, is, reduce, like, the steady damage intake. Right, like, they want to, or, that's not exactly what I'm trying to say. They want to increase your baseline survivability. And so nerfing something like Enfeeble, these guys are hitting really hard. This is fortified, but oh my goodness. We're going to skip that. Probably need it for count. Actually, I don't know. I don't remember what exactly the routing is supposed to look like in here. Let's get Dancing Rune Weapon rolling. How about that? If you can't tell, I haven't played Bloody Cane in a minute here, so... Remember the new changes, you die because you weren't in sync with the healer, so it's the healer's fault. Yeah, exactly. I will say the change to make Bone Storm actually reduce CD on Dancing Rune Weapon is pretty sick. Alright, well we let these guys pad away and then we pull Blightbone. So you hit Bone Storm and it's just instantly 50 seconds off the CD of Dancing Rune Weapon. Like, that just feels amazing. Love that. And then Tombstone, and there's another big chunk off. And look, it's already up again. I dropped Gorfiend, Silence, and Foul Bulwark to pick up Ironheart and Bloodshot. Maybe that's the way to go. Okay, why can't you move the Void Emissary? That's dumb. That's just dumb. Doing incoming damage being more smooth and easy for healers. Get away from huge spikes, but also huge self-DR. So they want to nerf... So I guess, like, kind of some of the big picture angles, they want healers to have to heal tanks. They don't want tanks to be completely self-sufficient indefinitely. Maybe self-sufficient was a little bit of a Freudian slip there.
I'm so self-sufficient.
So they want healers to have to like pay some attention to tanks, which I think in principle is okay. Like, I'm not dooming on that alone. The way that they're doing that, or at least the start to that, was basically just nerfing tanks across the board. If they actually like nerf a lot of targeted spike damage things, then I think like at the end of the day the game's going to be in a better state for everybody. But I think there's a lot of skepticism about whether they've left themselves enough time to do that before the expansion goes live. Because we're only a month away, you know? Fairly certain they want to make every tank and healer quit so they can have a DPS only experience. I mean, this would be a way to do that, I suppose. Think about all those tank streams, they'll have a bigger challenge running keys. Yeah. We're gonna double pull this here. They're just, so the way they nerf Death Strike is like, you can actually see there's like an aura here now called Coagulating Blood that tells you how much you're gonna heal. The way they nerfed it is you now can only, this is kind of hard to describe, I guess. So the way the Death Strike works is it takes a snapshot of damage you've taken in the last like 5 seconds or whatever, right? And you heal based on how much damage you've taken recently. The nerf that they made to Death Strike is that now each instance of damage can only buff 1 Death Strike's self-healing. Alright, here we go. So, on paper, that means like the gameplay of like saving a runic power and death striking 2 or 3 times in a row after taking a big hit is kind of gutted. I don't know, it feels noticeable to me, but I'm also very, very rusty on DK, so I've been doing like live Prot Warrior stuff exclusively for a week. And I was doing mostly Warrior stuff on beta for the week before that. You can't even stop the Void Emissary. Alright, he was gonna get some well-deserved mana here. Can you please explain the Deathbringer talent ability tree? I'm not sure if I get it in my small brew brain. Yeah, so you get this ability called Reaper's Mark. I don't know, I'll explain it more after the key because I don't wanna delay these guys here. Let's see, we'll do Tombstone so we can get Dancing Room open up, and then we'll go into Bone Storm. It centers around this ability called Reaper's Mark, which has a relatively short cooldown and does a lot of damage. That's kind of the short answer. I want the spear. I'm not going to use it yet. We're going to save that for the boss, for the third boss specifically, I guess. Wise Jester, thank you for the follow on Twitch. Let's see. We will pull these guys into this pack over here. I'm gonna pick up the orb too. We'll use that upstairs. Actually, maybe we want to use that on. Okay, we're gonna get these guys in. All right. Well, we've lost our healer here. I can get him up as soon as his angel form. Oh, someone else got him up. Nice. I think he got soulstone. Perfect. It's much more like Deathstrike has a 5-second timer now, or should be treated like it has a 5-second CD. Not exactly something like that to the healing build back up. I mean, I think you want to wait a couple of globals between Deathstrikes, which was already kind of optimal. Because you don't want to dump all your runic power in 3 seconds and then you don't have any when the damage continues, right? Emissary's a good affix. It's an actual DPS affix for a change. Yeah, I know. I'm not doing a good job with aiming the frontals in here. I have not really run this place since Shadowlands. Yeah, you can get insane CDR and Dancing Room up and now. Like, it's not even down yet and the cooldown's back up. Oh, knew this was gonna happen. Could have called this. Used to be one of my favorite dungeons, but I'm a big fan of Noku, so maybe I'm not human. This is the only dungeon I actually got a portal on for in Shadowlands. Did it on my, well, I did it as a Havoc Demon Hunter, so I don't know what that says. Yeah, I did this one time on beta, and the angels that you take up to the necropolis were bugged, and they were just like 50 feet in the air. I guess we pull him from up there. Oh, this is new. I don't think this is intended. Maybe they still got some stuff to iron out here. gotta kill this emissary. This is my first time playing with emissary too, so... Got the mount on the very last run before Faded Patch. Great memory. That is a cool memory. I have a different memory of this. This was actually the last dungeon that I ran with some of my friends in Season 3 of Shadowlands. And we were in it like the Monday night before like the Tuesday patch day, right? And so we had a healer and 3 DPS in our group, so we needed a pug tank. Queued up, and this tank who had 0 Radar IO score, and his name was, he was a bear who was wearing like full PvP gear, and his name was Amazing Tom. I'll never forget that name because it was like so random. Okay, I need these floating text boxes out of here. He queued up, and I think the route that he ran, we pulled like 130% of trash. We pulled like almost every mob in the dungeon. But like his tanking was fine. It was just like it was an experience. We were doing it on like a plus 12 or something, so it became a little bit of lore for me and my friends. I think one of my hunter's pets is still named Amazing Tom. After the legend. Amazing Tom, if you're out there, we love you. We hope to find you again someday. So this is a spot where like the Deathstrike nerf is kind of noticeable. If they get the balancing right here, and I think what I would like to see is a little bit of a buff to the healing you get from that first Deathstrike. If they get the balancing right, I think a good place to be for DK would be like, you have enough in Deathstrike to heal you up after taking a big hit to a point where you're not capped. Like maybe you're not maxed out on health, but you're not in danger from like the next attack that's coming in. Feels like it's not quite there, but that's just like my initial gut impression. The kiting necropolis in your face thinking 4 stacks. It's not the Deathstrike nerf things. Well, you know, like I said, I haven't done this place in a long time. No Bear, thank you for the YouTube sub. Yeah, I gotta get out of here. Okay, we procced Purg. Yeah, we're just dead. Took this point, Gorfine's in silence, and I haven't used it. I have used it. I was using it on trash earlier. That's why I still call it the Kiting Necropolis. Yeah. I also picked up the Discharged Animal with the intention of using it in here on one of these poles, and I haven't yet, so... We'll send it here. I'll help finish off this pack a little bit. I still don't have any weak auras telling me like how many stacks of Mutilate I have. Because it does hurt. It certainly hurts. Also, Death Knight is the absolute worst tank for kiting, but you know, It is what it is. Oh, I ate that instead of the creation. Don't want to do that. Which one is it first? Oh, it's the middle guys. Aim these at each other. Or not. I would still really like to see them tone down burst damage. The old tenderize. I feel like kiting is just not even, like I can't even get away from these guys. Oh, and I pulled them all away from the emissary. That was not the right move. Burst damage keeps exciting healers on their toes. Isn't that what we want? More healer inclusivity? I mean, I never feel bored as a healer. Always something doing all content. I mean, that's fair. I'd love to hear more healer takes. Like, to me, someone being in danger because you're letting them linger at 40% health, like, that kind of feels like the right spot. Someone being in danger because they're at 95% health and they didn't press a defensive, I don't personally enjoy that. Now, you know, I'll say, like, I'm not a healer main, and I haven't done a ton of healing, at least in season 1 of Dragonflight, so maybe that's not quite where it is anymore. Dealing big damage as a healer is the way to not be bored. Yeah, not all healers like that though, right? Like, I know I have some friends who play healer and, like, their thing is like, I play healer because I want to heal, not because I want to be doing a simple DPS rotation. How did that not hit the boss? Oh boy. Alright, well, we're gonna get to test some DK now. Hit him with the javelin. We gotta kill this creation real soon here. Or just aim him. Nope, didn't get him with the boss. Okay, we gotta kill this thing real fast. So this will bring the boss down. Okay. We kind of salvaged this. Healing for me is like a DPS, but you feel a reward of saving them, which is a moment that will not be replicated. DPS is just the same over and over, not unique experiences, no community and social reward from healing through like details. Yeah, that's something we need to hear, I think, too. Like, as DPS, there's a very clear way to evaluate your performance, right? As a healer, it's like, okay, well, nobody died. But is that because I did a good job of healing them? Is it because they didn't stand and stuff? Like, there's so many reasons that people might not be dying in your keys, right? And not all of them are just, like, purely, oh, I gotta not stand in this, I'm trolling hard. Not all of them are just like, I did an awesome job healing this dungeon. Okay. I want to look at the details, see what the numbers are here. I'm actually going to be allowed to open the... Can't even open the box. Okay. This doesn't matter. Okay. So damage-wise, pretty good. I'm gonna hearth, which I don't have bound. Exactly. In a queue with friends who play well, healing is only needed for mistakes, which you hope are rare for a huge AoE damage. Right now, classes are self-sufficient if you play real well to up to a damage point. Karate is DPS can get fulfillment from executing difficult optimization. You can always do more damage. Healing is a zero-sum game. You just need to be good enough. So if you're not the literal impossibility of getting a single more point of HPS, you're good enough. The only way as a healer to keep getting better is to maximize damage while maintaining a zero-sum of healing required. Yeah. I don't know. I think part of the way you have to look at it is like there are obviously different roles, and so maybe finding fulfillment for them is going to look different. Pleasantly surprised with Blood Decay or about what you thought? It felt better than I thought it was going to based on everything. I still beat the healer in overall healing. I'm curious to see minimum death strike, So my average Death Strike heal was 737k. It feels low. But the HPS for me was 221k. Healer is offline. Oh, this is Rolex Alliance. I don't know if we'll be able to get him back in. I don't know, the healer. I don't think the healer said they're coming back, so. What key should we do? Let's do our car. Let's see how that's feeling right now. Yeah, I think a lot of what felt bad was me just like failing mechanics in the dungeon. There were some times where like Death Strike was not healing for as much as I wanted it to, but I don't think I should have been taking a lot of damage in the first place, so that's kind of hard to say. So yeah, we were going to talk earlier about Deathbringer. So yeah, you get this ability Reaper's Mark, which does a big chunk of damage, and then it applies Reaper's Mark to the target. Each time you deal Shadow Frost damage, you get a stack, and then at 12 stacks, it explodes, and it does a bunch more damage per stack. It also applies Soul Reaper if it explodes on a target that's in execute range. So the capstone then, after Reaper's Mark explodes, your next Mirror Rune costs no rune. Summons 2 scythes. The scythes deal a bucket of damage. The first one does 333k Shadow Frost damage. The second one does a bunch of shadow damage and applies Blood Plague. And the second one is AoE. The first one might be AoE too. No, the first one is single target. The second one's AoE. Other stuff in the tree, your Blood Plague has a chance to deal more Shadow Frost damage. Shadow Frost damage applies 2 stacks of Reaper's Mark, 4 stacks when it crits. Yeah, basically it's like a 30-second. Well, it's a 45-second CD by default. We'll go Holy Valley in here. Yeah, it's a 45-second CD. This talent reduces to by 15 seconds. It used to be like a minute, and then this reduced it by 30 seconds. I think they changed it so that this talent feels a little better in comparison. I don't know. I think I'm going to go back to Sand Lane. Get to Sand Lane for this one and see how it feels. And since I am playing Sand Lane, I do want to play more. Definitely want to play Red Thirst so we can get more Vamp and Brace Up time. I think we'll do. I don't know. I want to take Umbilicus though. I want to take this and see how it makes Blood Shield feel. And then I guess we talent out of the Gorfian's Grasp Silence. I haven't really played Sand Lane since they nerfed it, so we'll get a chance to see how it feels here. This might be the same guy. Sorry, I fell off in your conversation in chat there, but glad you guys are having a chat. I guess we could bring in an AUG for this one too. Get a little bit of a baseline comparison between the two specs. In a very different dungeon. As far as damage done, like, you get buffs to Blood Plague there, and then Reaper's Mark itself. Wave of Souls is part of Reaper's Mark 2, I think. Yeah. And Exterminate is one of the scythes. So it does a lot of damage. We'll take the Hunter. Arakara, City of Echoes. I think a lot of players play not at level. I mean, they usually have more gear than Encounter was designed for. I think that's definitely true. This guy was survival and did 1,000,000 DPS overall. That's awesome. I love seeing that. Alria, greetings. How's the blood decay feel? I've only done one key on it so far. First impression is not as bad as it sounded from the nerfs. Definitely want to run a few more keys here and maybe do some crazy stuff and get in trouble. Yeah, first impression is maybe this guy's not fallen yet. Thanks for the answer, appreciate it. No problem. I will note that I am only doing level 4 keystones, so not the biggest challenge yet. But I feel like it's an appropriate difficulty for like where the gear scaling is. It gets in tyrannical and fortified. Tyrannical or fortified, I should say. I feel like if you're doing... I mean, people who want to be pushing like 10 to 12 on the beta. Like, I respect that. But I feel like it's also not an accurate representation of what most people are going to be experiencing when they get to that key level on live. So doing a 4 with like heroic level gear is probably about where most people are going to start, at least. Heroic dungeon level gear, not heroic raid level gear. Oh, this is really this is no good. Pretty good chance I'll still main blood after my testing today. Yeah, I think the dooming is a little bit overblown at this point. Just based on what I'm seeing. I think maybe people, including myself, I'll include myself in this, have overestimated how much like those times where you're like rattling off multiple death strikes in a row. Oh, this was perhaps foolish. See, here's where we really get to test it, right? This feels okay. Like, honestly, this feels fine. Pleasantly surprised with how Blood DK feels. Had the entire party go down, and I was able to live long enough for them to run back. Didn't feel like I was too close to death there. At least to me it didn't. So, yeah. Have I played any other things after the nerfs? I have not on the beta yet. Yeah, I'm trying to balance like continuing to do beta testing against like farming the 300 something crests that my warrior still needs to max up my gear. He still hasn't played the coolest tank yet, sad Pepe. Yeah, we'll get some Brewmaster in at some point. Okay, there's Purg. I know I'm not doing a great job with the Void Emissaries up here too. Yeah, this is painful. And we just got some ads in. And the healer left. Alright. Well, Blood Decay didn't feel bad there. But, I think maybe this was not the right group for the key. Didn't help that no one was killing the Blood Emissary, and that's a tough one, because, like, if I drag the boss over where the Void Emissary is, then, it's gonna start munching all the ads that the summons are in the fight. I think I'm gonna do a dungeon that I'm a little bit more familiar with. Let's go to Grimbatal. I've run this one enough that, like, I feel like I have a good handle on what it should look like and how it should feel. Maybe that'll be a good way for us to evaluate. Yeah, you did call Bogdash. Tuning Sifil is a different instance 2. Something to do that. Yeah, I think honestly, like, the most concerning thing to me is not that they're trying to adjust how much a tank needs to rely on their healer. It's the timing of this whole thing. Like, the pre-patch is coming out on Tuesday. And then the expansion's 5 weeks after that. And season 1 is another 2 weeks after that. Are they really going to be able to nail everything in that short of a time window? Like, oh man. It's the time when you're doing it 100%. This should have been done 6 weeks ago. Or it could have, like, something a lot of people have said that I think is valid is they could have done this in season 4. Could have been doing this in season 4. Yeah, I want to get like a whole dungeon done as Sandland though, and see kind of how it feels after that. Let's see what it overall look like. Still not bad. But then again, they kind of flexed on us what they can do in 2 weeks with the Mythic Plus changes, so I'll give them some rope. That's fair. I mean, Blizzard has been largely gaining trust back over the 2 years of Dragonflight. I will say, like, some relevant things that make me a little bit concerned are the way that they handled healing tuning in Dragonflight. Like, they've recognized that burst healing can be problematic. I know that there was a whole discussion going on in chat about, like, how problematic that actually is. But they recognized, like, yeah, this can be a problem, and we want to address it. And their solution was basically, like, nerf healers by increasing health pools and increasing incoming damage at the exact same percentage. Which, like, that doesn't change how bursty damage feels, so... I don't know, it feels like a lot of the times they identify a problem and then they come up with some really weird ideas on how to address it that don't seem, at least on paper, like they're actually going to address the problem. Let's see. Enhancement Shaman, we already have an... I don't know if this guy's enhanced or Ellie. Stun GV, thank you for the follow on Twitch. We're hanging out, doing some tank testing on the beta here. Big agree. It's like they play a game of who has the worst idea that still kind of works. Kind of. Yeah. I mean, that's what it feels like sometimes. Yeah, I don't know if it's more that or if it feels like their encounter team and their class design team are like something's getting lost in communication there. I guess we just take another DPS shaman. Still need a healer though. Here we go. We're just going for the all male group. Double evoker, double shaman. What could possibly go wrong? Weird temperature take, but wouldn't reducing the damage of every single mob by like 20% and cutting the DR of every single defensive CD by like 30%. Remove the reliance on personals. Now with bigger health pools, it would be lower damage, lower healing situation. That would be a way to do that, I think. It's probably something as simple as communication. It always is. Let's get a ready check here. Best to get destroyed for healing takes. Need to go back to monk class design ideas. Wait. What? You can just... Okay. Apparently we can just run through the window, guys. Probably don't do that on live keys. No, don't want to get banned. I gotta get used to playing Sand Lane again. I'm not doing a good job of making sure I have a lot of runes when I go into Vamp Blood. I'll watch out for the knockback here. That shaman get knocked off? I think he did. I think you can line of sight that knockback too. I'll go to the next pack now. Okay, we got everything coming in. Grip it all together. Honestly, as long as you're weaving in... We gotta kill the Void Emissary too. As long as you are weaving in a Death Strike, or like a Heart Strike, or something between Death Strikes in heavy damage situations, this feels alright. I'm gonna take the Far Drake here. Yeah, I don't want to say the dooming was like completely unjustified, because on paper those changes looked pretty bad. But I think here's a weird take for you. I think this is kind of like Guardian Druid. On paper, everything looks awful, and you don't know how it's going to actually work out. But once you actually get into the game and start playing with it, like it just doesn't feel as bad as you thought it was going to. That's not where I wanted my D&D to go down. It's the natural way real news cycles work. Bad news gives everyone some info based on what it looks like when the investigation begins. I think you might be onto something there. Might be onto something here. I mean, the reality is, like, if you're taking a ton of damage, one Death Strike is still enough to get you out of danger and topped off. And then if you take a lot of damage again, you have the same power in your next Death Strike anyway, right? Debating on upgrading edition to get beta. I don't know if it's worth it, but I want to go and test stuff. I think at this point, it's a little bit harder to say if that's the right decision or not. Like, it loses some value every day, I think. You can test everything but the hero talents on the PTR, but I mean, the hero talents are obviously very significant. This boss is in such a better state than when beta first launched. It's very easy to see where the holes are going to be that you have to get to. It feels like you actually have time to get there now. You do have to move, though. This affix feels awful on, Oh, this is bad. Oh, that's bad. Oh, that's so bad. This affix feels awful in this fight, though. Like, we have to kill this Void Emissary, or the boss is just gonna start one-shotting. But we also can't kill the Void Emissary, because we can't stand where the Void Emissary spawns. And you can't move the Void Emissary. Void Emissaries need to be movable. Okay, that, yeah, I think the thing that felt bad there was the Void Emissary being in the middle of the room and we constantly had to run to the other side. That boss hit pretty hard, too. If death grips aren't working, can you knock them back or ring a piece them? I don't think you can. I think I heard someone else talking today about how they need to be movable. Oh, that's new. I remember these guys doing that attack before. Boss is coming in behind us. Watch out, guys. Boss gonna get pulled. Alright, well, here we go. Got Icebound Fortitude up, though. Well, Tyrannical Throngus ought to be a bit of a test here, too. This guy does hit pretty hard. Okay, I'm feeling weak here. I'm feeling notably weaker here. But again, the Emissary is up and needs to die like yesterday. He's got his Molten Mace. I have to run. Have to run. Monk is so buggy, Ring of Peace might work anyway. Monk is always so buggy. Oh, okay, this is gonna be interesting. Yeah, we're just out of room here. Okay, they have got to do... So something like that attack right there is where you really, really start to notice the Deathstrike nerfs. Oh, okay. I thought his buff fell off. That feels really bad. They've got to do something about this boss, though. Like, having the boss just pat around the room after you kill the first trash pack, and then needing, like, twice as much room as you actually get. It's like, what are your options there? You either just, like, wait for the boss to pat away, which feels remarkably bad. Can't get rescued across, I guess. Yeah, you have to like wait for the boss to pat all the way toward you and then pat away before you clear some more mobs to get more room. Or you just end up face pulling the boss. Like, I don't like that at all. Nice rescue. These little orc legs. We will make it. We'll make it eventually. Is he patting around again? Yep. So I guess we just pull him over here and hope we have enough room. We will have Bloodlust this time. So I hope we can pull him without pulling that pack. Yes, we can. Okay. Oh, that cleave is so troll. That just ate up so much of the room we have. And the pack up pulled. Okay. There's gonna be another wipe. But how are we supposed to effectively deal with that pack? Oh, and the Void Emissary's up. Nice. Let's report a bug real quick. This boss needs to chill in his patrol. That's pretty rough. Is he gonna try and rescue me across? Okay. Oh, they pulled the Drake. They pulled both of the Drakes. Okay. Are we just wiping it? Are we just calling it? We. Is our healer to know you can't step on the red dragons there? So they spawn those drakes. I got bad news, guys. I don't think we're gonna beat the timer on this one. Should at least be able to get by these drakes without volume this time. Okay, is he... How long is he gonna chill over here now? Does he just like change positions? Maybe we can just run by? Doesn't have a cast time. Let's clear this back. Oh, the boss is coming. Boss is coming. It looks like he slowed down a little bit this time. Okay, we got some ads. This is not good. Boss is absolutely gonna get face pulled here. Oh, this is just a nightmare. Let's see how long I can live on this. Oh, we got stunned. That's nice. Okay. Well. I'm expecting someone to leave at this point. I don't intend to, but yeah, this fight's a bit puzzling. It's like they want you to clear the whole room, but then the boss patrols so you can't clear almost any of the room. I don't know. See about... Yeah, I think maybe we just start like in the corner here when the boss gets over and then try to burn him. Maybe that's the play. And then there's just like a hard timer on Tyrannical. Can we pull him? No, he resets if you go through this way, so we can't do that. Maybe just chain reset the boss so you can actually kill the trash. Alright, here we go. Okay, that bait was okay. Not great, but okay. Need to kill the Void Emissary. Really need to kill the Void Emissary. Maybe for the mace I just need to like try to kite in the circle as much as we can. And then we just bait the frontal back that way. Yeah, that'll do, that'll do. Okay, this is not fair. We can't actually hit the Void Emissary. And I'm gonna have to kite again. So he's just getting giga buffed. Okay, but we're gonna kill the boss, maybe? Okay. Now, if this was a higher key level, we would have been in real trouble with that pack there. So I still am not really sure what you're supposed to do about that. But we got through it, so onward and upward. I think we might need to kill one of those packs for trash count anyway. Oh, the trash in this part is so bad. Flame boys hit hard. Yeah, they do. And at least the last time I did this, the warlocks here put out a sick, nasty health absorb curse. Although theoretically, we have 4 curse dispels in this group, so I don't know if both of the evokers took their curse dispel, and it is on a longer CD, but you know what? Let's just YOLO it. Let's see. It's still really nasty. It doesn't tick as hard, so that's good. But like 3 million and they can both put it on the same person. That needs to get nerfed really bad. Like, first of all, it should be maybe half of the heal absorb. That's gonna scale disgusting into higher keys. I need to run away from this guy. Let his enrage drop. Yeah, that should scale, it should do a lot less heal absorb, and there's no reason for that to be going on 2 players. Like, I get what they're going to, right? You should have a decurse in the party, and then you decurse one person and heal it off the other, but that's not what's gonna happen. What's gonna happen is, like, the healer's gonna have to heal it off of both most of the time, probably. I'll pull these warlocks here. These guys are sick, though. Decrease feels bad because I ain't got it. It's that simple. Yeah. I mean, only Druid of the tanks does, right? If you're relying on a mage for your decurse, well, I've got some bad news for you, because they're never going to press it. Okay, we'll skip the sleeping dudes. We can come back for them if we need them. Until decursing does 50k DPS, mages won't have it on their bars. Yeah. You could make it the talent that they get. Or you could make it a baseline ability. They still wouldn't press it. Okay, we've made it to the third boss. Almost. Almost. All we gotta do is kill 2 lava benders here. These lava benders are nasty. Doing the double pack of them, I think the big thing is you do not want to drop them to 50% at the same time. Kind of like the 2 mobs before the first boss in Mists, because they do a ton of damage once they ascend. What do I prefer feels-wise between Sand Lane and Deathbringer? I think feels-wise I like Sand Lane better. So first of all, you get offensive value out of using Vamp Blood. You get a big haste buff when you use Vamp Blood. Like basically, like every time you get a stacking haste buff for using Vampiric Strike, which like you get a proc that turns Heart Strike into Vampiric Strike. During Vamp Blood, it just does it automatically. You can see how it's like lighting up on the bars here. You get this proccing haste buff, so you can see I'm up to like 43% haste. It's significantly nerfed. I used to be able to get it to like over 80%. We'll go ahead and repair here. Wait, can you not? Wait, hold on. This guy had stuff to sell. Oh, it's just water and food. But there's no repair option. Yeah, but like the haste buff feels good. I just like the gameplay of it a little better too. I think Deathbringer might end up being better overall. It just takes some getting used to, I think. Like later in the expansion, with stats are inflated, Sand Lane will fall behind. Well, maybe, but the thing is, the haste that it gives you scales multiplicatively with haste from your gear, so So in theory, it might actually scale better than Deathbringer does. I don't know. I think both are fun. I think both are pretty fun. I'm just not used to using Reaper's Mark. "90% his bloody kick confirmed." You heard it here first, people. When I have it in, you can probably find it in my VODs. There's some places where we got it up to 88% when we were testing with it. And that's in, like, you know, mid-tier Season 1 gear. Oh, it feels bad. My bone shield stacks fell off during the RP. I guess I should have been hitting the Void Emissary. Did the ads just not come out? Like the ads just didn't come out. Oh no, he didn't spawn him yet. Never mind. The by fire be burned is not the ad spawning. I think, yeah, he still spawns 2 during this phase now. No shot, he just reset instead of dying. Oh, that feels so bad. As if we didn't have enough problems in this key already. Well, at least we have backup bloodlusts. Let's see. We got the 53% haste there. Okay, with bloodlust 94%, 98. Let's go. Alright, dragon should be leaving any moment now. There we go. There we go. Boss reset instead of dying first time. Bug. We'll make sure to be a good boy and report the bugs we're finding here. Man, I hope they do something to address Blood's heart attack inducing health spikes on the beginning of pulls. VDH has the same problem. Maybe some range attack that's more defensively potent. Yeah, I definitely always feel that playing my Demon Hunter on live too. Yeah, I don't have a good answer for it, especially after midnight. But it would be nice to have something that's not just like, oh, you have to have a defensive up every time you do a pull if you don't want to feel like you're gonna die, or make your healer like spit out his drink all over his keyboard. On the other hand, maybe that's what you want to do. Maybe that's how you want to play. Are we gonna have enough count here? I don't think we're gonna have enough count. Got yourself the beta. What's the good server? There's a server called, I think it's These Go to 11. And that's the max level server. So that's a server where you can like get a pre-made max level character. Oh, good grief. Buy all the gear and trinkets you want for testing, all that fun stuff. Welcome to the beta, by the way. I do like that there's lots of other perks that go along. Like, even if the... I probably would have bought that edition of the expansion even if it didn't have early access. Time for the rebirth of Fisto Testo. Nice. Yeah, we're gonna be way short on count here. Oh, that's frustrating. Alright, last boss isn't too bad. Knock on wood. Famous last words again. You generally want to avoid these tentacles on the ground. Need to spread the circles out within the safe circle. Time to go die to a boar and L1 Force after these nerfs. Well, you're a Brewmaster though. Brewmaster's not looking too bad. Alright, where's our... Oh, we didn't call the Void Emissary. Okay. Well... let's see how long we can survive. Oh man. I was telling people earlier this is my favorite dungeon in the beta. This is not the experience I'd had with it before. We've come so close. We must finish it. Is my gear broken yet? Oh no, it's not taking any durability loss. Okay. Well. Alright. Here we go, chat. It's really hard to tell where the epicenter is supposed to be here. Hey, Peter Wood, thank you for the subscribe on YouTube. Appreciate you. Hope you're enjoying the content. Looks like we're going to have to go into some of these tentacles over here. Octash, you're in a weird position with free time. Oh boy. This is really tight. Or you may just main brew and blood and keep warriors and alt. Oh, that was not good. Come on, boss is so close. So close. Come on, just finish off the boss. Please. No! No! Oh, he had less than 1,000,000 health left. Oh no. Oh, our suffering continues. Keep in mind, we still have to do another, like, maybe 2 trash packs after this. Oh, this is cursed. At least everybody's sticking around. Would have expected people to leave by now. We're determined. I think I need to wait till we actually know where we're gonna have to stand before I start clearing out all the tentacles with AMS. Alright, here we go. Oh boy. I don't know what that was, but I was not ready for it. Where are you locking us into? Looks kind of like around here. Heal her up. Is there a Void Emissary up? I can't see one if there is. Okay, we need to go this way. We might have it this time. is avoid emissary now. Alright, kill it before we have to move somewhere. We did it! These guys are real G's if they stick around for the 6%. I don't know if I want to see the final timer on this dungeon. That was brutal. So we can pull the sleeping guys over there. We probably should. Just because we don't want to run the rest of the way back to what else we skipped. This is probably not going to be enough though. I don't think these guys give like that much count. Oh no, that was just on my screen. Yep, we need more. Woo! The count in this place is awful, man. You know, let's pull a Drake here. If this is still not enough, I don't even know what to say. Just line of sight. Yeah, these dragons aren't bad if you line of sight. The AoE thing they do. Alright, there we go. 59. We did it under an hour. Oh man. That was rough. That was not rough because of DK tuning though. Like, the Deathstrike nerf is not what made that feel so bad. It was everything else. Oh, and the loot is still bugged. Alright, I'm just gonna hearth then. Oh man. So, Blood DK still feels okay. It's not as overpowered as it was, and it may be in a position where it just, like, flops once you push into higher content. But my first impression is the nerfs are not nearly as bad as we thought they were going to be. So, that's good. That's good. Alright, chat. Well, that's going to do it for me tonight. I will not be on tomorrow or Saturday night. My wife and I are actually celebrating our wedding anniversary this weekend. So, I'll be out for a couple of days. Sunday, I will potentially be back. I am going to try to work on a video coming out in the next couple of days, but we'll see how much time I have to do that. But thank you everyone who hung out tonight. Thank you for all the subs, all the follows on Twitch. Yeah, I really appreciate all you guys and all the support you've been giving. Hope you all have a good couple of days, and I will see you all next time. Bye, everybody.